For most people, a poinsettia is just temporary Christmas decoration. But it doesn't have to be. In the right place, this plant can live outdoors and grow into a beautiful shrub. So today, I'm giving this one a second chance in the garden. Alright, let's go see. Today I'm planting this poinsettia in the garden. And yes, for many people, poinsettias are very much a Christmas plant. You buy one in December, enjoy the red color for a while, and then somehow it often slowly turns into a slightly sad green stick. But in the right climate, poinsettias can actually become beautiful shrubs outdoors. So today, I want to give this one a proper place in the garden and talk a little about what poinsettias really are, where they come from, and how they get that famous color. This spot gets a lot of indirect light and a bit of afternoon sun, which I think should suit it quite well. Poinsettias like warmth and light, but they don't always love being blasted by harsh sun all day long, especially while they are still adjusting. So this feels like a nice in-between spot to try. What a lot of people don't realize is that poinsettias are actually native to Mexico and Central America. In a natural habitat, they don't grow as tiny potted holiday decorations. They grow as large shrubs, and in the right conditions, they can become surprisingly big. So, when you look at one in a little pot, it's easy to forget that this plant is capable of becoming a whole presence in the garden. That's also why I think it's fun to plant one out like this. It gives a chance to become what naturally wants to be. I've already cleared some of the weeds. Well, weeds. Plants that weren't planted by me. And then there's the color. The bright red parts that poinsettias are famous for are not actually flowers. They are bracts, which are basically modified leaves. The real flowers are the tiny little structures in the middle. I always think that's one of the coolest things about poinsettias. The part everybody thinks of as the flower isn't really the flower. So, poinsettias also prefer well-draining soil. They like moisture, but not sitting wet for too long. So if you live somewhere with heavy soil, it's usually a good idea to keep an eye on that, especially in the cooler season. Here, I think this spot should drain well enough. Because it's somewhat sheltered, I hope it will have a good start. That's also why I added some substrate to it. Oh, thunderstorm coming. Need to hurry. Doesn't seem that there's a big problem with the roots, so I'll tuck it in as it is. Another interesting thing is that poinsettias don't turn red just because it's winter. They respond to day length. They are what's called a short day plant, which means that they start developing those colored bracts when the night becomes long enough. So it's really the longer periods of darkness that trigger that color change. And that's also why getting a poinsettia to color up again indoors can be a bit tricky. If it gets too much artificial light at night, the plant can get confused and stay green. Here in the garden, of course, it will just follow the natural rhythm of the seasons. And that's part of what I'm curious about. Will it settle in well? Will it put on good growth? And eventually, will it color up nicely again when the time comes? They're also quite sensitive to colds. A light chill is one thing, but real frost is usually when poinsettias start having a very bad time. So planting them outside only really makes sense in mild climates. Now, let's give it some water. And there we go, a poinsettia in the garden. It's always nice when a plant that is usually treated as temporary gets a second life instead. You know me. That white sap is typically for euphorbias, because that's the plant family poinsettias belong to. So this is not just a random festive plant, it's actually a euphorbia. I'm really curious to see how this one will do here. If it settles in well, I think it would become a really beautiful shrub over time. Now let me know if you ever planted a poinsettia outdoors, or if you ever managed to get one to turn red again after Christmas. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.